Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Is happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so please, my friends, do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on tonight's conversation, I'm honored and thrilled to have on a good buddy of mine, Mr. Brenton Jomar. He is a community advocate focusing on self-care and self-healing amongst men of color and Black men. I first met this gentleman during a community function that my nonprofit was holding at a local church. And it was a men's health fair. And a good friend of mine said, man, I need to get you in touch with Brenton, man. He, I'm into yoga now. I'm doing yoga. I'm like, yoga? What? Yoga? And, my boy, shout out to Nick. Nick is a, friend of the show, host of, he has his own podcast called Life Recreated. By the way, shout out to Nick, because Nick is graduating with his master's over at Norfolk State. Behold the green and gold. So I want to shout out my good brother, Nick Holman Walters. And him and his wife Roberta, just dear friends. Shout out to Roberta as well, Roberta Lee. Look her up, because I know you probably have her album Too Much of a Woman. So again, got shout out the fam. But Nick had told me about Brent. I'm like, man, I want to get to know, because for me, especially, I'll just say it like this: we all know in the Black community, especially amongst men, yoga is still kind of like a new thing. You're starting to open up to. For one, yoga is so soothing, and I'm slacking. I know Brent's gonna get on me, because I've been meaning to go to one of his classes. I really need to get into the yoga scene. For one, I'm not flexible at all. Okay, my flexibility is trash, but I need to improve that though. But set aside from that, it's all about just the meditation factor, because being a business owner, being involved in so many other things, you do need that time to really decompress and just kick back and really focus on yourself. And another reason why I want to, I'm excited to have him on, because we are going to get to talking in regards to mental health, self-care, self-healing, because there's so many stories that we can go on and on about when it comes to Black men or men in general deciding, well, you know what, I can't go on through this, so I'm just going to end it right here. And that's not the case, my friends. That's not the case. So I'm excited to have a great convo with Mr. Brenton Jomar. He's also co-founder of I See You Bro Collective. I See You Bro Collective, which provides resources, programming, and community to address overlooked topics and challenges faced by men of color, aiming to aid in their healing. Again, very important. You're in for a treat on today's show. Before I move forward, as always, family, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule for tuning in to yet another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As you know, we drop new episodes weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, Apple, just to name a few. You can also check out past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on the GOATverse TV app. Okay, that's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, what else? Amazon Fire TV. You can also listen to us in your car, on your radio, if you happen to be in one of these few cities that I'm going to be mentioning right now. Shout out to KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM Las Vegas. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Again, that's only on KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. Then we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to our friends over at WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, where you can listen into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's only on WDJY 99.1 FM. And then lastly, we're going to head over to New Orleans, WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. Look, you're going to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. Again, what New Orleans is talking about. So we're thrilled and honored to be a part of those great stations, continue to expand our audience and listeners, because look, we just want to continue to spread out great conversation, hopefully some good content, fun content, informative conversation as well, because as you know, we talk a lot of politics here, politics and pop culture, but the floor is welcome for open for anybody regardless of political aisles. We want to have those conversations here on the Arrington Gavin show. What else I got for you? I think that's about. I'm fully recovered, y'all. By the way, you remember the last time I was talking with you all. My body was so sore because my wife and I were on this like health kick, right? Staying active, again, taking care of our tempo, not just internally but externally, not just externally but internally. And so we've been going at the gym, getting at it, X, Y, and Z. And it was one day, and it's so funny because I think it's like a stereotype, but there's a stereotype when it's like, okay, there's women's exercises and then there's men exercises, right? My wife was in charge of the exercises and I was like, fine, I'll do it, and I'm not sexist or anything, but I'm like, hey, look, exercise is exercise. As long as I'm, getting my exercise, I'm good. So she says, okay, I got this week, you got next week. So I went on her exercise regimen, and I'm not gonna lie, doing some of the exercises, I felt a little awkward, especially when you walk in the gym, you see all these big, buff dudes, like, yeah, man, you see it right. And I'm just like, I'm doing the exercises that, she's doing. But when I tell you, when the body felt that, because I get sore quick, okay? I get sore like the evening of. My wife is like, I get sore the day after. No, I get sore the evening of. And I felt I couldn't even breathe. So, of course, I'm over here, doing the show, and I'm trying to talk, and I'm trying to adjust myself in the seat at the same time, like, welcome to the Arrington Gavin. Y'all would have thought I got ran over by a truck, and it's like, no, what you do? I did squats, I did a lot of squats, I did lunges, I did everything. Yeah, and it was tough, but I'm fully recovered, y'all, and it was great. And I can't wait to do it again with my wife. I'm always like, all right, you gotta be ready for the next one. I'm like, yeah, I guess. But no, man, at the end of the day, fam, you gotta stay active. Please stay active. The weather's great right now, at least here in the Commonwealth. It's very warm. But get out there, stay active, stay moving. Don't think that exercise is overrated. You don't have to do the hardcore heavy lifting, this and that. It's all about moving those joints, all that great stuff. So that's my little spiel for you guys. But what we're going to do right now is we are going to head to a quick commercial break. Again, do not change that dial. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Goat Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023 and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolved. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care. All right, family, let's talk about something real tonight, because too many are suffering in silence. For generations, Black men and men of color have been told to man up, stay strong, and never show weakness. But what happens when that strength turns into suppressed pain? What happens when trauma goes unaddressed, when emotions get buried, and when healing never even begins? Look here, y'all. Tonight we're breaking that cycle. We're talking mental health, accountability, and what real healing actually looks like. Not the social media version, but the real work. Again, I'm honored to have on our special guest, Mr. Brenton, Jomar. Brenton, what's going on with you, brother? It's great seeing you again, man.
What's good, Brody? How are you? Thank you. Thank you
Man.
for having me, man.
Man,
On the Arrington Gavin show.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Your check's in the mail. All right, your check's in the mail. But I do appreciate it, fam. No, look, man, like I said, I am so excited to be speaking with you again. It's been a minute since the last time we spoke, but through social media, we always stay connected, with each other and all that great stuff. Man, first and foremost, man, how's everything been going? Because I've seen you do so much great stuff through just in the community. I saw you advocating for people to get out there and vote. I've seen you with senators and this and that and the other. I'm like, my goodness. I'm like, over here, man. And so and again, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's because after getting to know you, talk with you, I'm always hyped seeing other people just do great things and grow. And so it's just, again, I'm supporting in the background, man. One of your biggest supporters. But if you don't mind sharing a little bit about yourself with our audience and what led you to this journey on advocating and spreading awareness in the importance of just self-healing, not just amongst Black men, but just men of color in general.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to do my drop, man. I got to do my drop whenever I introduce myself. I always be like, yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Brenton. Even if I ain't your boy, I'm still your boy. That's who I am. I'm just your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like your brother, your cousin, your friend. That's what I always like to lead with, just because that's who I am in real life. And I do a lot of things, but who I am is the thing. And I think it just has landed me in a really cool space where I get to share with people about what's going on in my life without there being this strict guideline. It's like, oh, that's Brenton, that's just our boy, right? And so he does all of these things, that's just our boy doing all of those things. And so that's who I am. How did I end up in this space? By going through life, man, and trying to be healthy and trying to be well. The story that I always tell people in just a pivotal moment, I was working as a youth director at a church. A lot of people, I don't share that with a lot of people, just obviously just because of the culture's relationship with, Christian spaces and church. A lot of people don't and I'm very loud about the fact that I love Jesus, but
so do I. So do
yeah,
I. I left and people don't realize it, because sometimes I can get kind of, not unfiltered, but they know me, right? And I'm like, look, I'm gonna just be me, right? I'm gonna be respectful, be me. But I'm gonna just be me. But I'm gonna just be me. Exactly. At the end of the day, I know who I follow, right? And so at the end of the day, that's where no, we ain't gonna come across that respectfully.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was working at a church as a youth director, which is another story in itself, bro. Yeah, working in ministry is wild. Which is wild because that's what landed me up in therapy. But I was working as a youth. Yeah, bro, that's a whole nother conversation. I was working as a youth director. COVID happened. COVID happened, and it just like sent things into a spiral. I watched this church like split right down the middle, right? And as somebody like in their 20s at the time that it was happening, I was like, ooh, like this is really hard. I had watched the church go through a split, and not only did I watch, because of that church split, like they restructured the entire church staff, right? Just because that's just the practice in the Presbyterian community. It was a Presbyterian church, and so they have a little bit different like rules than maybe like a church with a bishop or something.
I'm about to say you're back because okay. Here's a little education for all of our listeners. Okay, so in the Christian church, they are different versions now. They're different. You got Baptist, you have Kojic, Church of God in Christ, you have non-denominational, you have AMC. I think I got easily, like you said,
like Amy Zion,
Amy Zion. Come on now, like there is multiple, and sometimes I'm just like saying, man, can we all just get along? And we worship in the same God, but that's like you said, that's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole nother story. Anyway, I end up so through that experience and through the church going through a split and through the pandemic, I end up losing my job. And not only did I lose my job as the youth director, I lost like a lot of my purpose, right? Which was showing up for those kids. Like I was going to soccer, I was spending my weekends going to soccer games and like ballet recitals and plays. And when I was parted from that, along with the entire staff, it really forced me to kind of take a look at like, are you in relationship or are you in religion, right? That experience kind of shattered what I thought about what Christianity, what relationship.
You were definitely you were questioning because when that wall hits, it's like, wow, okay, is this the right path for me? How can I know that if this is why did God let this happen, right? I know that question always comes like, why is God letting this happen to me? So I totally hear what you're saying.
So not only did I lose my job, I lost my community, but I also lost my benefits. And so I was like, and as like somebody and I lost all of those things. And so it made me reevaluate in a lot of ways who I was. It made me reevaluate what community actually looked like to me, right? And that it didn't actually have to reside in those four walls. What did relationship with like a higher being look like outside of like the religious aspect and like the acts of church and Bible study, right? What does like my internal relationship look like? But I think more topically, right, more tangibly, is like I lost what I was doing every day. And one of those things that I was doing and looking forward to was therapy. And so because I had good insurance, and so I was utilizing that insurance and going to therapy. I had just discovered therapy as a young Black man. It was around the time that like conversation had opened up and had become a little bit more accessible, right? Like just the language around it had become easier to understand. And so like all of the Black male therapists was filled up. They ain't have nobody. And so I had got me one. Bro, his name was Malcolm Bernard, one of the coolest. He
don't get no blacker than that name right there. Malcolm Bernard.
It was Malcolm Bernard or Malcolm Butler. Look him up, y'all. Great therapist. If you need a therapist in the DMV area. But anyway, I end up losing that resource. And so I was like, bro, like what I'm gonna do. And it really forced me to find resources in a way that still kept me healthy. And so I was like, you can't afford $160 per session. And I was going like every 10 days. I was going 3 times a month. And so that's like and after losing your job, like that
adds up. That adds up.
That's close to $500. You get what I'm saying? A month. And so I'm like, all right, bro, you actually gonna have to start taking these $15, $20 yoga classes. And that's how that's how I became a yoga instructor. A lot of people don't know that. I got into yoga because I couldn't afford therapy. And so I started doing yoga because I had got very, very desperate for care, right? And making sure that like, yo, you are struggling, like you have a beautiful life, you have a beautiful family, so many resources, so much community. But you still need yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And you still need to be well. And so,
and Brenton, I hate to stop you midpoint. I hate to cut you off. I'm curious on, so when you found, like, were there other options other than yoga that you that as far as pursuing just to receive kind of like that similar therapy? Was there ever, or was it just like therapy always like just kept on leading you to yoga rather than saying, hey, look, let me pick up this, or let me pick up that, just out of curiosity?
I think for me, I was just I was willing to try everything, right? Like I was like, I was trying everything. I had got back in the gym and that was good, right? But I also just like needed a place to like just slow down my mind. And the gym is cool, but I'm like,
it's a lot of distraction.
I'm still your boy at the end of the day. So I'm like listening to Chief Keef. You get what I'm saying? I'm like
very therapeutic.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening. I call it power rap, bro. Like, and so I'm listening. You know, that's me. I know every rap song, bro. I can boss me like all of it. It's me. I'm very.
Hey, Chief Keef will be proud. He will be proud.
You get what I'm saying? Like I would. It's a lot of stuff, and so that it was doing it for me, but I still needed another outlet. And so I think for me, I landed on yoga, but I was trying everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I think and for me, that was very brave. It felt brave because, like you said, Black people don't do yoga. But I was so in a space where I desperately needed the help and the care that I was like, shit, let me just try this. And then I had went to a yoga class, and from there I like just started inviting my friends and telling. I'm naturally very talkative and very loud about what I'm going through. And like even back in middle school, I remember my friends would tell you like, yeah, you would get on the bus like talking about your mom. Much mad respect to my mama. That's who made me who I am. But they would be like, yeah, you would get on the bus telling us all of what happened last night, like just sharing with us. Like, so I've naturally been a storyteller, even in the midst of grief. Like I find some type of humor in things. I'm able to tell a story and I'm able to share. That's just a strength. It don't always feel good.
Hey, I love it. I'm the same way, and I'm one of the like long-winded people in my family that I love. Again, I love conversation. Like I love this. What I'm doing right now is almost a form of like I would say therapy, but just also like that's like me playing with Legos or something. Like that's me playing. That's just me playing my video game. This is my comfort zone. What I'm doing right now, just talking, just it does something. It does. It
really does. And for some reason, like I come alive, like when I'm sharing, and when I find I gain so much strength from being vulnerable. Because it's like once I shared that, you cannot take that. Like you cannot take that from me. It's like when I acknowledge it and when I'm loud about it, I own it. And not only do I own it for myself, but I also like give other people the courage to own it and not just own it, but to stand in the face of it. And so just like sharing has become that for me. It landed me here. Like what?
Oh no, go ahead, Brenton.
I was just like, it's just the intent is to just stand in the face of my life and really to encourage other people, other men to do the same thing.
Why do you think that and I'm just primarily, speaking on the Black community, because hey, we're men of color, right?
We're Black.
Like we're Black. There you go. One of a gentleman I listened to a lot said, look, there's minorities and then there's the Black community. He said there's a difference. There's Black people, then there's minorities. When it comes to yoga, not even just yoga, but therapy in general, I think those are two different things. So I'll focus on the therapy part. Why do you think the Black community is kind of hesitant when it comes to the therapy talk. Like I feel as though therapy is still growing amongst the Black community. I have at my mother's office, she has an office in this workspace building, and there's a bunch of counseling and other offices and psychologists that are there, and you'll see folks waiting for their appointments. You rarely see people of color. You rarely see Black people. If I walk to check up on, my mom or drop something off, and I'm like, I see, a Black person, I'm like, I'm happy, because I'm like, you know what, that's a great thing, because it's kind of foreign when, Black people seeking therapy. Most of the time, therapy is, attending on Sunday or Wednesday, and that's either you going to church or your Bible study. Seriously, that's like, so I guess my question is, why is therapy somewhat still foreign in the Black community? Coming with your perspective, why do you think that?
I think my immediate thought is because Black people have only had Black people. We have only had each other. You know what I mean? That's the only safety that we found is in each other. And I think there's strength in that, right? But I think that there's a pro and a con to everything. And the pro is pride, right? To being a part of culture and being a part of community and being with each other. There's this pride that comes with it. And there's also this safety to that, right?
Yeah.
But the con to that safety is it is so tight that sometimes we don't know what to let in. And it like reminds me of like what goes on in this house stays in this house. Every Black person has heard that, right? And I do think that's true to an extent. Like you don't need to share everything with everyone.
Absolutely.
Like that's also the problem. So many things have gone on inside this house, and we need to seek some help outside of the house. And I think I think that's just naturally where it comes from, that we're just so protected and guarded because all we've had is ourselves, that anything that is outside of what Black people have done to survive, which has been Jesus, right? Which has been spirituality. Like we're not looking at it. We're not really entertaining it, because that is, and Black people are very traditional in that regard, right?
Very.
We keep things very tight. We keep things consistent, right? You see that with like in the Black family structure, right? Like you see the Black mom like sacrificing no matter what
absolutely
like. You get what I'm saying?
And it's like always it's saying, are we ever going to talk about what just happened? No, keep it moving, move it forward.
Exactly.
But it's like holding on to an extended lie. Like the longer you extend it, it's gonna get worse
it's gonna get worse.
Yeah. So it's like, but you're absolutely right, because and that very much so still exists. I mean, even for folks that, and maybe I'm speaking on to something here, but there are prolific spiritual leaders that have their own demons. I mean, you don't know what goes on in their household or in their family, and they're probably the same way. Like, oh no, keep it to yourself. But it's like then moving forward, oh, this comes out. What? So it's very, very sad that that happens. I'm hoping that it continues to improve. Obviously, with the great work you're doing on trying to break that stigma, as far as advocating for folks. Hey, look, when if you need help or if you need someone to talk to, don't hesitate to reach out. I know it's going to be tough, but you have to do it for yourself. You can't be forced to do it. You have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, you do. You have to want it bad enough. And I think that's what led me in the spaces. Like I want it to be well so bad. Like I want it to be normal so bad.
And when you say normal, like what's your normal and what's your well? I think I'm like, now I'm stuck on those words. Like I want it to be, what's your version of like, okay, this is me being well and this is me being normal.
I think they kind of there's like I would say they're normal is like not in fight or flight.
Got you.
Well is like proactively like catching things.
Got you.
Before
Got
they
you.
happen. Before
Got
they happen.
you.
It's the same thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I at least did not want to be in a place where I was like fighting and gasping for air.
Gotcha.
I'm not expecting for life to not be hard, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
I think that we're all working hard. I think, like I told you, even with all of the resources and the beautiful community, and like I'm tight with my family, like they know everything about me. But like even with all of what I'm given and all of the accomplishments and all of the connections and all of that, like still. I'm not sure if we can cuss, but I'm still effing struggling. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm still very hard for me with all of the resources, with how strong and agile and vocal I am. It's still difficult. And so like it always made me think like I wonder what it looked like for somebody else that don't really have the tools that I have. You know,
that's very, you know, I'm it's funny you say that, because whenever it's almost like when I'm cornered in a moment where it's like I'm having I want to say, well, when I'm having a struggle or just having a bad day or just, you know, overwhelmed, I'm just like over here like, dude, and I'll have my moments where I do feel depressed, nothing to the extreme, but I just feels like, you know, just I'm not that talkative today, or you know, babe, I'm gonna sit right here just for just a little bit and just, you know, let me, you know, kind of just hit, you know, decompress for a second. But I always tell myself, you know what, God is somebody that's going through it 20 times worse than I am, and I need, you know, I always need to continue to count my blessings. And I think that's what I'm almost like coaching myself back and forth. Like I do speak out if I feel any form, because my wife is my best friend, right? She's there. My, you know, my family, my mother, I have close friends that I can have those conversations, because there's going to be conversations where you're not going to want to have it with your spouse. You're going to want to have it with your boys. And then there's conversations you have with your boys, and there's conversations you have with your wife. There's conversations you have with your mother, and vice versa. But yeah, I'm always telling myself, you know, there's somebody that is going through it worse than me, and how can I, you know, I always want to be, I've always been raised to have a service heart, so I'm always thinking of other folks.
I also kind of low-key got a problem with that like frame of mind as well, even from my aspect, because I feel that way too. Like I absolutely feel like, oh, I wonder what this is like for someone else. But I also noticed that like I preface my feelings a lot of time. Like I preface, like I was talking to somebody last night, and I like apologize. I'm like, hey, like I sent a text and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I feel very sad tonight and a little overwhelmed. I'm gonna just go to bed. You know, like you know, like just there was a response. And after in reflecting, I got even more overwhelmed, because I'm like, why are you apologizing for your feelings to somebody else? Like,
I got you.
And so I do even think that there's this issue with like, oh, like you can get up, like there's somebody worse. It's like, well, it doesn't matter that there's anyone worse. It's like you stuck with you. It like, I get it, but like Black people
don't ignore your pain, because it's almost like a cop-out kind of way of
it's
saying,
a cop-out, like let me not acknowledge this because there's somebody like in a worser situation. Where it's like, well, they're responsible for them, and you, like, I know you want to get your mama out the hood, but you got to get yourself out the hood too. And it's kind of like almost that mentality where it's like, why do I feel the need to always defend what I feel?
See, this is hitting a lot of people right here.
Or preface, like, I'm sad, I'm having a bad day, I get to have that bad day. If you love me, you'll rock with me, and if you don't, like, it will make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm learning that even myself and all the work that I've done, what it looks like to still be confident in the fact that, like, though I have this persona, everybody know me as your boy, what's good. Yeah. But like the other day, like I posted, and it felt crazy to do. If I've always laughed at people on TikTok or Instagram, they will post themselves crying. And I would be like, that's weird. That's like, very attention seeking. But the other day I had that moment. I was in the gym. I had a terrible day. I was just in the gym, like bench pressing, bro. Some of the most I ever bench pressed, but crying real tears.
Wow.
Crying real tears. And I just put the phone down in my lap and I like let it record. And I'm just like pushing and I'm crying. I post on my story and it got some of the most like responses that I've ever gotten on the story. And I say that to say that there's like so much strength in just being vulnerable and just sitting in your feelings and sharing it and not trying to like move yourself out of it immediately or trying to defend to people that love you or over explain, but to just sit in it and to give yourself the space. It was like liberating, you know, and I want that for all my brothers, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. That I want to ask a question because I've asked about in regards to, you know, the disconnect from, you know, therapy in the Black community. But let's talk about, you know, let's kind of move on to the yoga. But I do still want to include the therapy piece to it though, but amongst Black men, because that right there, I mean, come on, man up, dude, you know, be a man. How many times have we heard that, right? You talked to, you shared it. You were bench pressing, probably doing some of the manliest stuff, right? Bench pressing, but you also were crying at the same time. I think I will say, Brett, that's the first time I've heard that someone say I was bench pressing, but I was crying too. Cause see, if I'm crying my bench press, it's because I don't want to do this right now. I shared the story about working out with my wife. I'm like, I don't want to do the most squats, maybe I can. But all jokes aside though, there's still very much so a disconnect between you know, yoga or some form of therapy amongst Black men. And I think now it's growing, it's doing better. But the first person that comes to my mind is someone like Charlamagne the God, right? Very popular, very famous radio personality, someone who was always known to be very controversial, you know, going ham on somebody else back and forth. But then he comes out saying, well, no, I struggle. And he's seen now as almost of a person who advocates for, you know, therapy and seeking help when need be, especially for Black men. So you being a yoga instructor, you being again an advocate for mental health and for men seeking that healing, how was the journey for, we'll say once you were an instructor, but how has the journey been for some of folks that you've seen, you know, join your classes? And is it still kind of a struggle when you do approach, or if, you know, bringing in more Black men per se?
Yeah, that's that.
I know it's kind of it's all around the play, all around.
No, I got you. So two things. It was I'll speak to the struggle of like what I've seen from other men coming into the space, and then I'll tell you what it looked like for me on that journey as well. I think for other Black men, like I think what I said the same thing about Black people, like just trying something unfamiliar. Black people are very tight. Black people are very traditional. Like I was talking to my boy the other day. I'm like, bro, you need to get therapy. You need to talk to somebody. He was like, oh, my upbringing was pretty good. And I wanted to blurt out in the midst of listening to him be like, no, you're the perfect candidate, bro. Like you're the perfect candidate, actually, if you think you good. Like anybody who thinks they're good, you're nuts. Like you're cuckoo. But I was like, you know, just be quiet, relax. So I think we carry a lot of what our parents taught us, which is natural. That's normal. Right. I think that I've seen, like, if I'm being candid, a lot of Black men are hyper masculine in a lot of ways, right? Like you can be everything, but one of the things that you can't be is gay, right? In the Black community. And so I've heard a lot of Black men, a lot of heterosexual Black men be like, all these, it's kind of gay. Like, so they're nervous because it makes you comfortable with your body in a way that like, you know, straight men wouldn't naturally be in, right? So like, it has been hard from so many different aspects for Black men to just try something new, to get past like the stigma of what it looks like to be comfortable with your body as a Black man. You know, it's like it's like even once I get you in the class, I notice Black men don't be taking off their socks, and it's kind of like what is it with Black men and their feet? Like, what's up? Like
they don't lotion them, man. No, I'm joking.
That's what I'm. No,
Let me tell you something. As I remember, shout out. I ain't gonna tell the band's name, but when I was in high school, we had like a pool party at my folks' house, and my football coach, was swimming with his socks on. And I said, no, this man is not swimming with his socks on. But it
at
was
the
like,
beach, bro.
At the beach, man.
Bro, that's how we be. That is an indicator that will show you like there's something with Black men and getting comfortable that the world is just not afford that the world does not afford to us.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We will be in the pool with a beater and a t-shirt on before you get what I'm saying, before we present ourselves in a way that we feel like is not acceptable, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of that has like kept us from entering spaces that we really could benefit from. On the other side of that, for me, I think that I have been afforded a lot of opportunity in a lot of spaces because I fit the mold of what like an acceptable Black man looks like, right? And so it has allowed me to be perceived by every kind of Black man, right? And so I think that when I began to do the work, and I would have like these yoga classes that were open to the public. So I had a partnership with Norfolk State, and the classes were free and open to the public. But every single kind of Black man would be there, right? And I think, and there was, if I'm being candid, there was a transgender man that had came to the class, and so I was a little bit like just shaken, just because in Black community, like the thought of accepting everyone and creating space for everyone is not a thing that Black men do. We don't do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, and even if I may align with like one man more than I do with the other, again, I fit a certain type of mold. People like me. I'm not naive to the fact that people like me is that I'm masculine enough. I'm just the right amount of funny. I look the part. I can articulate myself well enough. So it gets me these conversations. It gets me opportunities.
Yeah.
But for a lot of Black men that aren't like that and don't have that personality, they're being left out of conversations. They're being left out of spaces. They're being exiled from spaces. And so for me as a Black man also seeking wellness, I was challenged to open up my heart and my mind to other people that were also maybe on that same journey. And so it wasn't in the aspect of me being like, oh, like I need to accept like transgender men. No, it was like a no. If you really care about Black men, you care about Black men in all forms of Black men.
That, man. Wow.
And you care about people in all forms. And so it changed the trajectory of my work, and it changed the trajectory of how I saw myself. And it allowed me in my journey to get more comfortable with who I was, so that way I can get more comfortable in inviting more people and being in more spaces and talking to more people and really being who I say I am.
I love everything you just said, because what I hear is not only were you're the instructor, but you're also a student at the same time. You're also growing along with these men.
Exactly.
So it's not letting them feel like you're by yourself. No, we're growing as a unit, as a collective, and it's extremely important that we continue to, speak that and say like, you're never alone during this process. And when you had mentioned that, it's just also so many things just came through my mind there. I want to talk, because I'm looking at our time. I want to talk about the brand I See You Bro. Now you started this along with a couple of your friends. If you don't mind sharing a little bit about I See You Bro, the brand, the collective. There's so many great things that you guys do within that organization. If you don't mind sharing with the public more about it.
Yeah, shout out to the bro. Shout out. I always tell them all the time, like, I do a lot of things. I do a lot of projects. Like,
you're a Renaissance man. You can't just do you can't just do one thing. You can't, man. That's another thing in the Black community. Look, we some entrepreneurs, ain't we? We some entrepreneurs.
I swear I thank my mama for that. I grew up watching my mama, like, she still got her same tax business. She be complaining every tax year, like talking about, I need to raise my prices. I'm like, yeah, raise them anyway. Like, the hustler I am come from my mama. But I See You Bro is a space dedicated to partnering Black men of color with wellness resources and spaces that promote healing and wellness. It was started amongst me, Yuri, and Mars. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, yo, the only reason why I do a group project with y'all is because of the brotherhood. Not because I want to see anything else first from this, but I'm doing this because I want to do work with my brothers. And that brotherhood makes me a certain type of man, a certain type of individual. But I See You, Bro, it's just a collective of the three of us creating space for other Black men. And so some of the programs that we have is we have the podcast, obviously, the I See You, Bro Collective, which can be found on all platforms and it's not like one of those podcasts where we talking trash. Like, we're talking about our experiences. Like, one of the first episodes I remember is like our relationships with our fathers and our mothers and how they've grown us to be who we are today, and what it looked like relearning some things or unlearning some things that they taught us. But we also have more like in-person things, right? For people that are in the DMV area, we have something called The Lab, which is a monthly roundtable discussion where we invite a therapist in or a psychiatrist, but a credential official, like a credential person, because we were like, yo, like, it's one thing for us to share our perspectives, but it's another thing to invite a professional into the space.
Absolutely.
And the intent of that was to like just break down the barriers around access, right? A lot of men in general, like the process of finding a therapist, finding community, understanding the vocabulary around mental health, letting your guard down enough. Those are all barriers to like us getting the care that we need. And so I See You, Bro, just likes to like break that barrier and provide that space to Black men by making it seem less intimidating. And that's done through like our roundtables, through our podcast, through programs. We have a partnership with the Museum of Contemporary Arts coming up, where we're talking about the pursuit of happiness and what happiness looks like to us today.
Wow.
But the conversation is centered around an exhibit by Nina Chanel, who's a Black queer woman from, I believe, Brooklyn, New York. And we are just our conversations are around that art. And so we're bringing conversations in different formats and different spaces to make everybody comfortable and a part of the conversation. And so it's really cool. I'm very different from all of the guys, which is why I like it. Everybody is married with kids except me. I'm single, no kids. You know what I mean? Very opposite is what I'll say without telling all of my business, but very opposite in a lot of ways. And so it's a cool podcast because, again, you usually don't see, like, to find out really, I don't share a lot of who I am just off of the strength of like what you need to know for.
Why you want to know? That ain't your business. That's my business.
Not your business. But once you tap into the podcast, you'll see what I mean. It's like we're also different, and that's the beauty of it too, is that we're also different. And Black men usually look the same in a group of people. And so, you get what I'm saying? We only be hanging out with who we look like.
Exactly.
And so I See You, Bro, is also a visual representation of what like it looks like to be in community and brotherhood without you actually having to look like or believe the same things as somebody else.
And it's so important because as me being a member of the podcast community, I see it firsthand when there are not enough programs or not enough shows where you do see men, Black men sitting down. That's not, like you said, talking trash, joining with each other. Like, actually, can we be serious here? Because if you think about it, one of the reasons, in my opinion, well, which one is more lucrative? People are doing podcasts as a quick way to, get some, get some residual coming in. I mean, let's be honest. Podcasting is starting to grow more popular than cable television, and you now see podcasts on Netflix, for crying out loud. I mean, it's like what is going on here? Streaming is taking over. But that being said, you rarely see shows where, yes, you have multiple Black men speaking that are not fighting, that are not going at each other's heads. No, it don't have to always
look like that. Yeah,
it doesn't, and it's not, and because it's really not the norm in the sense, it's really not the norm at all. If we all just sit down, have conversations, kind of segue into another conversation as we come to a close with our conversation here on the show. Politics, right? There's a lot of political theater that occurs in our digital spaces, in our, on TV and this and that. But if you actually sit down and actually talk amongst people, you might realize that y'all might agree on 80% of the stuff, but y'all use the 20% and y'all run with that and just say, no, that 20% is what we got to be, a divide. So I kind of moved into the political space, Brenton, because you have been, again, doing great stuff when it comes to serving the community as an advocate for mental health and just self-healing. But you also are very involved when it comes to having an understanding of what goes on in your backyard, right? Talking with local elected officials. I mentioned earlier in the show, I was on your platform and you were in a picture with U.S. Senator Mark Warner. I'm like, well, go ahead, Brent. I'm like, okay.
That's Marcus. That's Marcus. His name is. I gave him a black.
Not no name. Marcus.
That's Marcus. That's Marcus Warner.
That's hilarious. But let's be honest. I can see that because I was telling one of my folks, man, look, ever since I was born, Mark always been invited to the cookout. Like Mark has always been. So when you said
Mark is cool,
he earned that name, right?
He earned that, yeah.
But no, man, what you are, and you're on social media speaking about, encouraging folks to get out there and vote, because currently we have so many big elections happening right now. As you know, this is just in real time. By the time folks tune into this program, we'll be coming close to big referendum, a redistricting happening in the
next day
state.
After it airs.
Absolutely. The following day, it will be the final day. You make the choice to either vote yes or vote no on this Virginia redistricting. And we have that, as well as, local state races happening. We got congressional races happening soon. We got, like I said, local school board races, city races. We got so many elections happening because Virginia is one of those states where we have elections like all year round. So real quick, because we have maybe about like 6 minutes, about 5 or 6 minutes. What got you involved in saying, okay, look, I want to help use my platform to at least educate, get folks involved, and have an understanding of like the importance of, politics?
Yeah. It's not lagging, is it? Oh, now it's not lagging. Okay. We are in an era where you got to stop being quiet. You got to stop fronting for the track. I think that I know for me, I want to keep this honesty about myself that sometimes the world tries to take away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want my voice to, I don't want it to be popular. I want it to be purposeful. I want my voice to have purpose to it. And I think it's one thing for me to be loud about what I'm going through, but like I can't be loud about what I'm going through and not be loud about what the world is going through. And I think in black culture and black men, we tend to be quiet for the sake of just keeping the peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And me being loud about politics and just what's going on in my own backyard is me saying like, yeah, this stuff is cool, but I also care about like the well-being of everyone in this community and what's happening. And I can't say that I care about the community and not be involved in like the people that are able to not be involved in the part of the conversations that are affecting people at large.
Absolutely.
And so I think for me, it was just like a proclamation to myself that like I'm no longer gonna let the like mental aerobics around politics keep me from being informed. And I wanted to make sure that I shared that with people, and that me not being afraid of my lack of understanding. Like I wanted people to be like, yo, if he can learn and understand and digest this, I probably can too, thus getting more people involved.
Man, let me tell you something. There's folks that currently serve in office that is still learning. Okay. So the fact that, and I share this a lot on the program, I am no expert, right? I have an understanding, right? I enjoy it. I consume stuff that I agree with. I consume stuff that I don't agree with. I consume things that I'm lying in the middle with. But my focus is I bring on the experts. Let's have a conversation so that they can inform our audience as well as myself, because that's the thing. The more you know, the more you grow. Knowledge is power. You can't. I would hate to be that individual to be unaware of. Well, I didn't even know this was that. Like, I mean, there's folks that call me. He's like, "Hey, where we go to vote at again? Where's the registrar's office again?" I mean, and it sometimes I'm like, man, y'all been living in this area longer than me. But like,
but it is exhausting. It is exhausting.
It is. But I'm happy that, you know, hey, they reach out to folks that are aware of it. Like, okay, can you explain again what the referendum is? Can you explain? I mean, like, we live in a community again, and goes on just not just here in Virginia, but all around. Folks, we all know, okay, the president's in Washington, this and that and the other, but people forget. People don't know who their city manager is, their city treasurer is, their clerk of court. I mean, they need.
You don't know who your
bro.
It was last year. I was about. They don't know who their senator is.
They don't know who their senator is, and it was
just last year that I realized that we have more than one senator.
Hey,
I did not know that, and I'm like, if I don't know this information, I can only imagine like what other people, what other Black men specifically, like, because I did a program with the DNC, with the Democratic National Committee, and I was telling them, I'm like, yo, like, so many of us are trying to survive and like get from day to day, that being involved with a problem that doesn't affect us right now in the current is hard. Mentally, it is hard
very
to
much
care,
so.
Especially if you are not brought up in a world where they're saying things. Like, I was sitting a part of a political conversation, and the words that they were using.
Oh man, it kills me too.
If I didn't have like a little, like, thank God for context clues, because I wouldn't know what they were talking about. You feel me? But I can pick up on things and like. And I do
encourage folks to not quite pressure, but always keep their electeds accountable, because there is a period where elected officials tend to use like the headline of something and not really explain to us layman's terms or give us the substance of something. Like, everybody's always going to say, I fight for affordable housing, or I fight for healthcare, or I do this. Okay, what exactly does that mean? And explain exactly how that criteria, how that process is. Okay, does it go through this vote? You have Congress, and then you have a Senate vote, and then you got this vote. Like, you have to continue to.
And why do you care?
And why do you care? Exactly. It's so much stuff, boss, that I know it's extremely important. We're getting real close. Maybe I have about 45 seconds. Brenton, how can folks continue to support, follow you, all the great stuff you're doing? How can folks follow up more with I See You Bro, the collective? How can we stay in touch with you, boss?
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to stay in contact with me, I'm a millennial, y'all, so I'll be on Instagram. So the best way is Instagram. Follow me the same way it's spelled here, Brenton Jomar, but also, like, more importantly, like, tap into the resource, right? Which is I See You Bro Collective. Like, we post a lot of resources. We have a lot of events there. It's the I See You Bro Collective. On Instagram, it's I See You Bro Collective, ICUBroCollective.com. And then it's I See You Bro on all platforms, like, for our podcast. You can follow me there. But yeah, I'm on Instagram. Tap in with me on Instagram. I was just sharing with people the other day that, like, I'm going back to therapy. I got my consultation with my new therapist on Saturday. Get into therapy, bro. And so, like, I talk about a lot of stuff like that on my platform. And so if you just ever need somebody to talk to, or just like ask some questions, or somebody to help you find a resource or a page to send to you, like, my page is always available. So appreciate you, Brody, for having me on the show.
Man, and look, do not be a stranger to this program. If you don't mind, I would love to chop it up with you just for a couple seconds after the show. But again, I truly appreciate you as always. Ladies and gents, Mr. Brenton Jomar. Look, I hope y'all enjoyed this awesome conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I will talk to y'all soon for another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace and blessings. Always stay informed. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.